Ladies and gentlemen, the video you're about to witness was actually shot on a private body of water. Make sure you know all your local and federal regulations before attempting to duplicate anything that you have learned in this video. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Around here, we love talking boats, the outdoors, chasing critters, and as you know, I dabble in a little bit of bow fishing. You can see I got my personal flotation device on. If you're a fan of the channel, you know how important that is to me. You see I got my red and green navigation lights on behind me. That means that the light that is shining on my face right here is actually my stern light. We're going to talk about all the factors of lighting your boat in this video. Not necessarily your bow fishing lights, but all the other lights that nobody ever talks about. Things that are convenient, increase the safety factor, and just overall make your outdoor experience that much better. I'm going to show you things that you never even thought about before in this video. So thanks for joining me. Let's get into it. So boys, as you can see, it is dark outside, and I am not going to attempt to hold this flashlight on my face through the entire video. So there will be some of this. You just have to bear with me, all right? Take the information, not really the production. Let's go ahead and talk about our first thing in the video, and that is interior lights. In my boat, I have white interior lights. And even though the cockpit of the boat isn't that large, the complete underneath the deck is lighted too. Now, the lights that I actually have are actually truck bed lights. You can get them at Walmart, a full string of them. I think there's 8 pods in a string for like 15 bucks. And I actually think I have 2 strings in this boat, one over there and then one over here. And they're just wired together into one switch. Okay, my second switch right there is my convenience light for interior. My first switch on the dash that we might as well go ahead and cover is our lights to stay legal. Now, as you can see, we've got red and green up there. That is your navigation lights. The best way to remember that: red and port and left are all 3 shorter than right, starboard, and green. Okay, so all the short letters are together, all the long lettered words are together. Okay, so red is the port side. If you ever see a boat, you'll know that that is their port side. And you know, when you go to wire your boat up, you got to make sure that that's on the right side as well. Back here in the back, which will be quite difficult to video, is my stern light. Now, this is a max it out LED stern light. It's on a fiberglass pole, I believe. It is LED, and then the bottom of it is actually a ram mount. That means that I'm never going to be able to tear it up. High-end boats like Prodigy and some of those boats have been putting maxed LED stern light on their boats for a few years now. I personally have been running one for 6 years, and I've installed like a dozen of them. They are awesome. They are a little pricey, like 85 bucks or so, but I mean, well worth it. You never have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it breaking. You can beat the crap out of that thing, and it's going to be there forever. What I really like about it, okay, it is on a ball mount, and if I hit something, it doesn't matter. It can just move all over the place. So, yeah, if I run into a tree limb, no problem. I just reach back there and tip it back up, and it's the highest point in the boat again. The stern light is the white light on the transom. It must be the highest point of the boat, okay? While you are underway, you have to have your red and greens on. While you are at anchor, You can only have a stern light on if you are sitting still. That's a federal regulation. You guys can check that out. What about driving lights? Now, here's where I'm going to upset quite a few people. You can see right here on the front of the boat, I actually have two sets of 4-inch HIDs. Okay, they're warming up right now. Not sure if you can see that or not, but I can actually see the bank over there, and it is probably about 300 yards away. Fog is starting to come off the water, but that's okay. I can see very well. It's not necessarily about how far you can see, but seeing objects in the water, seeing stick-ups, seeing trash, seeing floating debris in the water. Now, one thing that you need to take into consideration is that a driving light on the front of your boat is actually illegal, okay? Now, most DNR lakes, most private state-owned lakes that aren't navigable waters are not going to give you any issue about that. As long as you're, using some common sense, you see another boat coming, point the front of your boat off of them, or slow down and turn your light off. That way you're not blinding that other boater, okay? Nobody's ever going to say anything to you. And if it ever happens, like I'm on the water a lot, okay? If it ever happens that I receive a ticket for my totally illegal lights, I'll go ahead and pay that ticket, because I know I'm going to stay safe and I'm going to live because I'm actually attempting to be safe. So that's my 2 cents on it. You guys do that at your leisure. I personally believe that there is no such thing as too much light up there. LED cubes, some of the new ones, okay, from like 5-star LED, Arrow LED, are a lot better quality than the 2 cubes that I have on the front of the boat right now. I do have 2 4-inch HIDs, and I have one set of 5-inch 100-watt cubes. And if I turn my HIDs off, maybe you can see I've just got my cubes pointed out at 45-degree angles on both sides. More or less a floodlight, okay? I personally do not like a light bar, all right? A light bar with a Euro beam is great for 40 yards, all right? It does not have the focused beam required for water use to be able to see very far out in front of you, especially if you run as much water as I do, and I'm sure some of you do. When you're fishing at night, no matter where you're at, it's always a good idea to be safe, but on the other hand, you want to cover as much water as possible, right? So a lot of us are up on pad on water that we've never been to before, and that right there, along with a quality GPS unit, ensures that we are able to run safely in the dark. You guys can see right there, looking at that buoy, that reflective light. That's what I'm looking for. I know this lake pretty well, and even if the fog rolls in, chances are I'm going to be able to see that reflective buoy. The bank that we're shining right over here is probably 500 to 600 yards. And I know that I want to continue on towards that bank well past this buoy before I make a starboard turn. Just off the peripherals right here of the lights, hopefully we can see it. Yeah, you guys can see right there. See those buoys? Okay, that indicates shallow water off of that point. And that is exactly where I want to head my craft in the dark, because off to my starboard side there's actually a point of timber. Knowing this, knowing the lake, knowing my surroundings, I'm able to navigate safely in the dark. Without these lights on the front of the boat, I would not be able to do that. As we look towards the back of the hull right now, there's probably one thing that a lot of you have never experienced, and that is a transom light. All right, this is 4 24-watt cubes. You know, the little 2.5-inch cubes that are flush mounted that you can, you know, buy for off-road vehicles. I have one going straight back, one going at a 45 on both sides, and you can see how much real estate I am able to physically see behind me.
Well, every light in the boat is on. The transom looks like the break of dawn. The front deck looks like runway lights. It's kinda like noon in the mid of night. Yeah, every light in the boat is on, just in case you ever do get tired of shooting low. Every light in the boat is on.
I have a 14-foot boat. From here to here, it's probably about 8 feet. There's only one way to get out of this, and that's to back up. This is the biggest reason to have reverse lights on your boat. Okay, you see right here, I've only got a small channel to be able to run in reverse in. There's no room to turn around, even though I only got a 14-foot boat. But with those lights back there, I can 100% drive this thing in reverse till I get a wide enough area where I can go ahead and pivot around. As far as running in the dark goes and the transom lights, I'm able to look back here, check on the motor. Okay, I can monitor that, as well as it just looks cool as shit. Hell yeah. Well, boys and girls, thanks for joining me on this episode. If you have any questions or comments, don't forget to leave them down there below. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, smash the like, and share with a friend. If you don't have transom lights on your boat, you're missing out. If you don't have driving lights on your boat, well, you're not being as safe as you could be. If you're still stumbling around your boat without some sort of interior light, fish barrel light, things of that nature, well, a headlamp just don't cut it, boys. Y'all stay safe, shoot straight, shoot off, and don't forget to wear the PFDs, and I'll see you out on the water.